Hello everyone, welcome to CloudMastery channel. Today topic is about EC2 instance compute. We will discuss about instance type, cost analysis, and what kind of use cases we can use for the cloud operation. So let have a look on agenda. Introduction will cover about EC2 services, what kind of compute services we have in AWS, and then we'll talk about free trial, how you can utilize your account for the free tier, and then we'll talk about instance type and what kind of ops use cases we can have to understand, and then we can discuss about pricing model, and we'll talk to interview question and answer, what type of interview question answer need to be qualified. So let's go to the next one is about compute. If you can see, we have multiple services in AWS. Like if I say EC2, Lambda, ECS, and EKS, and availability, if I say in term of EC2, that is a 99.99%. And according to my experience from last 8 years, I can see there is no much critical incident happened with respect of EC2. Your availability of EC2 will be good. If you are managing any EC2 machines from your account, you have to be take care status check, and you have to be set your monitoring tools. I will cover those monitoring session as well, to talk about infrastructure alerts, and how can we centralize the dashboard also in respect of compute. So if you have better alignment of monitoring proactive, then I don't think you will face any situations for downtime. And if I talk about comparison between EC2, Lambda, ECS, and EKS, if you see, for EC2 level, multiple use cases is there. If you have web servers, if you have databases, high performance compute, if you are having the requirement from client, then you can utilize for the EC2 instances. And if you have client requirement as per their uh, microservices management, either they want some automations over there, then you can use for Lambda code as well. And Lambda will not charge for uh, like compute. Lambda costing is different. So whenever your Lambda code will be run, that only you will be charged. So pay per invocation, I have mentioned here, you can see. And benefit is that in EC2 level you have to be manage your servers. If I say patching, you have to do your patching every month for your production environment and non-production environment. Windows patching and Linux patching is happening on third week of months. So this type of understanding we have to be take care for EC2 level. But if you are having a Lambda service in your account, then you don't need to be look as compared to EC2. So you don't need to manage these things here. So there is no server management. Automatic scaling is there for Lambda. And if client requirements is about more on that containerized applications, and they specify their requirement as a container service, then you can propose to ECS. You can see here the third option is about ECS. And if for ECS level, we can charge only for EC2 instances, either forget task. What are the forget tasks you have for the ECS level, then that only you have to be charged out there. There is no charge for ECS level for the creating of container and all things. There is no charge. You have to pay only for compute instances. And this is also very easy container management and scalable for that. And EKS is just for managing of your services for micro, whatever you have, the Docker and ECS container, you can go through the EKS to manage those services as well. And this is also similar cost of model, pay for EC2 instances of Augustas. So these services highly used. If I say about two major services which I have experience in multiple accounts, that is EC2 and Lambda. I have worked over there. So my session will be more on that, dedicated of EC2 and Lambda here. Okay. So moving to next one. This is about for those candidates who is looking to try something on personal account. If you created your personal account, then you can go through EC2 service, and you can choose T2 micro and T3 micro. So these two instance type you can choose for Red Hat. And similar way you can use for T2 micro and T3 micro for your Windows level services compute as well. And both operating system you can utilize for 750 hours in a year. So this is free of cost. You can create machines, you can try some use cases, you can get administrator type of understanding over there. So these things you can get it from free tier account. Yeah. Moving to next one. So here we'll discuss about instance type. There are multiple instance type in AWS, but majorly you will get the chance to work on top three. That's the reason I put top three instance type. That is called general purpose instances, compute optimized instances, and memory optimized instances. So these three highly used in any client, I can say. And general purpose, in respect of if you having the web servers, it could be Apache, it could be um, Nginx, it could be IS servers. So if you're having any web servers, either you have a development environment, I would suggest to approach only general purpose instances. You will definitely save some cost over there. The series start from M5, M6G, M7G, M8G, T3, T4G. There are multiple more instance type families there. You have to go your AWS documentations and check what type of instance you have in general purpose. I mentioned only highly used one, highly used families. Those I mentioned here. And if you look about compute optimized instances, then you can see this is used for the highly performs computing. For example, your client requirement is about the batch processing. You have the batch processing. There are some jobs run in particular timeline, and they need some high performance compute. Then you can propose to compute optimized instances to client, and that is started from C series. You can see here C5, C6G, C7G, and C8G. And moving to the memory optimize, which I highly worked in my company. So if I say high memory for large data sets, either I can say SAP HANA, either I can say memory based applications on database, large databases. So we are using our R series, X series over there. X2 ID, and also we are using R5, R6G, R7G, R8G, X1, X2 GD. This type of family you can use for your environment. You can propose to client as well for any kind of large databases and memory based applications. REST 3, whatever I mentioned here, this is about storage optimized and accelerated computing and high performance computing. You please have a look on these use cases as well according to the client requirement. Like if you having the data warehousing application from client, then you can propose to storage optimize. That is started from I series, D2 series, H1 series, for input output intensive applications point of view. And if you have machine learning, which is currently trending for Gen AI in all things, deep learning, either video processing application hosted on the AWS, then you should propose to client for accelerated computing, which is started from P4, P3, G4AD, G5, G6C. So these family you can propose to client. And if you have any kind of dynamics or genomics point of view applications, based applications, then you can go with the network bandwidth, high network bandwidth computing. Those are started from HPC6A, HPC6ID, HPC7A, HPC7G. So this understanding will help you to decide what instance type you need to be proposed to client. It will be really helpful to for your analysis. So please go through your those documentations and understand these type of instances. You will get more idea out there. And if anyone have any questions or query, please put your comment. I will try to answer in the comment sections. Moving to next one. Let's talk about pricing model. If you're working in cloud operation role, then you should know about some pricing model as well. What pricing model and what type of service I need to be proposed to client. So if I say on-demand instances, um, if your environment is very short term, if I say development or QA environment is very short term, and client having only 2 to 3 months scope, either 6 months scope, then you can suggest on-demand instances because you don't need to be reserved for 1 year, and there is no minimum retention for 6 months, so at least 1 year should be there. That's the reason I'm saying if you have 3 months or 6 month timeline for any kind of operations or the compute, you easily can suggest for on-demand instances for your client, and it will be pay hourly and secondary basis what are the uses you have done over there, and there's no long-term commitment is there, so you can easily suggest for on-demand. And if you have any big data, either you have the CI/CD workload which is not frequently used on daily basis, which is maybe you used only for the provisioning task or only batch processing for 1 or 2 hours, that you should propose to client for spot instances. We are also proposing this to client. So spot instances, you can save the cost almost 90% as compared to the on-demand. So that is the reason spot instance which is well beneficial to client. But you need to be very careful when you suggest for spot instances, because your infra can be shut down anytime, so you don't need to propose anything for spot instances for production environment. Production environment always go with the on-demand, either saving plan, either any other service like reserve instance or convertible. Spot instances is just only for uh, the temporary solutioning what you have it over there. Moving to saving plan. Saving plan is recently introduced. I think 2 to 3 years before it was introduced. And if you see, to compare, to understand in respect of compute, then I would suggest to go with saving plan. You don't need to be worried about uh, understanding of compute, which compute I need to be take the original instance, which compute I need to be good on demand. Is not uh, is not much understanding needed for saving plan. He is very flexible pricing model, offering around 72% cost saving or the AWS, so you can easily select the saving plan. Before saving plan, 2 to 3 years we have regional instance and convertible resistance. Even though I dedicatedly work on regional instance and convertible resistance more on that, and my experience is more flexible with the convertible regional instance. The reason behind, because if you have the regional instance, definitely you can save the cost, but when upsizing request will come from the application team, uh, uh, to increase their workload, and they want to upsize their infrastructure from one instance family to another instance family, there is a limitation with regional instance. You cannot do these things with regional instance. If you have the R5 series, you cannot change with any other series, R5 to M5 or something else. You have to be um, uh, make it change only the same family in regional instance. But if you go with the convertible regional instance, then you have the chance to change the instance family uh, as per requirement. Suppose R5 series to go with higher series, you can easily go, you can convert that things, you can change the instance type. There is no restriction in convertible. So I personally approach to client in respect of convertible regional instance and saving plan. This is my experience I'm sharing here. I always prefer saving plan and convertible regional instance as compared to on-demand spot and saving plans. I prefer these things. So saving plan and regional instance and convertible you should go. You can prefer. Out of these three, I can say you have to go with the convertible regional instance priority. So this is the way we can understand the pricing model. Also, I given the pricing calculator. If you type this pricing calculator in the Google, you will find one calculator page which is managed by AWS, and you can easily calculate what type of cost you will save from on-demand to saving plan and reserve instance and convertible reserve instance. You can easily calculate your uh, capacity based on the client requirement. So moving to next one. Now let's talk about some questions which maybe asked in interview, or you should know at least this type of basic understanding, like how many instances uh, I can run in EC2 in AWS. So if I say on-demand instances, default limits is about 20 instances per region, and if I say spot instance, this is also same. 20 instances, but it varies by instance type only. Regional instance, there is no limit for regional instance. you can purchase and then you can use it. uh, but it's limited for on-demand instance limit over there. And if you want to increase your limit based on the requirement from client, then you have to be go service quota page. You can easily go to login of console, and then you need to go service quota page, and then you can select compute EC2, and then you can uh, make a request to uh, for on-demand standards. There are multiple standards over there. I put here some family name ACD, HIMR, TJET. So these type of instances family is there. You can request, and once you submit the request, it will be acted by AWS support team within a 24 hours and 48 hours. So your limit will be increased over there. So this is the first question. If I go with the second question, what is your SLA for EC2? I think I already covered this in my introduction slide. So if you see 99.9% we have EC2, and you should have VBS within a region. So that is a, I can also uh, say like availability is good for EC2 in AWS. I don't face any issue from last 8 years. Majorly, I can say some hardware changes is there always, but before hardware changes, you will get one mail notification. Sometime also I feel notification not come to us and your instance seems stopped just because of hardware change. That time you need to be approached to your AWS TAM, because every client having your dedicated TAM. If you have the dedicated TAM, technical account manager, then you can approach to TAM and you can explain like we have faced this problem, please let us know what is the RCA. Then based on that things, a TAM will respond to you, I would say. And suppose your system is terminated, maybe by mistakenly, or some engineers have done these things from any automations. So what exactly your data, what exactly will done with your data? So if you having the instance store family uh, volume with your instance, if you root volume and remains volume also from instance store, then your data will be lost. But if you used elastic block storage EBS volume, because this is a percent storage, and if you use this one, then even though if you terminated system, your rest devices will be safe. EBS volume of percent storage, which means the data remains intact even after the instance is terminated. But according to my experience, if I say, you should have a daily backup for your EC2 if you are working with any production moment with client. You can define your backup strategy over the vault, AWS vault, backup vault. You can create a vault and then you can define the strategy. It could be daily backup, it could be weekly backup. This is depend on your customer agreement. Because if customer wants a daily, you can do it get daily. If customer wants weekly, you can do the weekly basis also. Also, I can suggest you should approach to your applications team to take their backup either EFS, either S3. That is also one more layer of safety for your data. You can advise to your applications team to take the regular backups from their databases, their applications, either S3, either EFS. So that is also you can safeguard your data. So moving to support multiple instances with a single volume. Also, I faced multiple discussion on this, like during my interview as well. Candidate is not aware like EBS volume also supporting maximum 16 instances in EBS. That EBS type is IO02 and IO01. If you see, single attachment by default, EBS volume can be attached to only one EC2 instances at a time. That means the volume act as block storage device that can be used for a single instance. But if you go with EBS multi-attach feature, there is a EBS multi-attach feature. If you allow then a single EBS volume to be attached to multiple EC2 instances within the same ability zone. This feature is available. You can see these things in IO01 and IO02 volume type. So you can easily attach these things for your read and write operations. Uh, but I would say in the realistic example, instead of attaching this EBS, you can always go with the EFS storage, EFS service. I will cover that EFS service also in my coming sessions. EFS is more safe and side, is managed by AWS and highly used for multiple clients. You can attach one EFS file system to multiple servers, and I can say latency, there's a low latency, and you can have the real-time data as well, backup data also. So EFS is more good as compared to this ABS multi-attach feature. But if someone asked you during the interview, then you can always say on that yes, it can be attached based on the IO01 and IO02 uh, volume type. Moving to next one. So there is a one scenario about how to encrypt EBS volume with the EC2 machines, because security is also one element whenever you worked in the cloud operations roadmap. So you should aware about your encryption EBS volume also. So there's a two options. First options, uh, if you're going from scratch, you are building a new environment, then it's fine. Then you can create a new EBS volume. You have to go with console. Either you need to try with Terraform, that also you can try uh, from both side, console level and Terraform level also you can try. You need to go from EBS volume, and then you need to create the volume over there, and you need to define the encryptions value. Encryptions can be default with CMK key if you don't have client managed key, otherwise you can get it the client managed key as well. So both approaches is there, and then you can create the volume, and then you can attach the volume to these two machines. Second approach, if your servers already uh, in working state but volumes are not encrypted, then you should go with the change. You have to create one change, present to the client, get it approved, then only you can proceed with this encrypted snapshot. You have to be take the snapshot with the current volume. You need to stop the instance, and then you can create the snapshot, and then you can choose the encryption key, either default, either custom key during the new encrypted volume. Once you create new encrypted volume from the snapshot, and once it created, then you have to be attached on this one in EC2, and before attaching you have to be de-attach the old volume. So this is the way you have to be taking. It's around taking 1 or 2 hours, so you should take the downtime with the application owners, and then you can proceed with these encryptions. So this is about EC2. Next topic will be storage, and I will cover storage for storage services, what kind of storage services we have in AWS, and what cost optimization we can look over there. And then we'll talk about use cases in respect of cloud operations, and we'll also cover for interview QA. So thank you so much, and please let me know if anyone have any query. I will try to answer those things in the comment sections. Thank you all. Bye bye.